Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first Q&A on GreenlyTV. I don't really need to explain what a Q&A is. Everyone should already know what happens during a Q&A.
But I guess I'll explain it anyways.
People ask questions, I answer. Easy as that, let's do this. Alright, so first person asks, have you ever played Godzilla game for PS4? I've never owned a PS4 or any PlayStation console in my entire life. I know that sounds weird. I've only ever owned an Xbox, so no. No, I have not. It's never occurred to me to actually buy a PlayStation. I've never really found interest in playing PlayStation, mainly because I've never ever played PlayStation. Plus, there's really no need to now, considering I've got myself a good old PC back here. So having a PlayStation would be pretty pointless at this point. Alright, next one is, how many times have you eaten soap?
That's a very good question. That is a question for the ages.
I'd have to say a total of probably 10 times. One 5 minutes before this, and the rest back when I was like 6.
I had a very dirty mouth.
What the fuck? Kindergarten was where it was really at. I didn't care. I really didn't. I spoke what was on my mind, didn't care about the outcome. And it probably sometimes, probably 8, I don't know. I don't remember very much of my childhood. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume that I did it a lot when I was younger. I'm just gonna assume I did because I don't remember very much. But no, the 5 minutes ago one, that's definitely accurate. I ate a whole bar of Dove soap. I chomped on that thing. The shea butter, ugh. I definitely recommend it if you haven't eaten that already.
So good.
No! God, please, no! If King or Kong, people, autocorrect always likes to say, switch it over to King instead of Kong, because I don't know why. If Kong were to win, what would you think they would do for later movies? Honestly, they would expand on the verse. That's just fairly obvious. And not to downgrade your question, but I mean, if it's a cash cow, which Legendary's Monsterverse is a cash cow. So it'd only be right to expand on the next movies that happen. Now, granted, we don't know what direction they would go in terms of monsters and who they would fight and whatnot, but no, for sure, they would keep it going. They wouldn't just stop abruptly and be like,
you know what? We don't want to do this anymore. It's fun while it lasted. We're getting so much money off of it, but yeah, we're not gonna do this.
No one in their right mind thinks that. So honestly, it's up to them. Yeah, just expand the story. That's it. Who wins? Burning Godzilla or Destroya? Destroya absolutely wrecks.
Oh, burning. I thought you meant thermonuclear.
Well, technically speaking, Burning Godzilla did in fact win in Godzilla vs. Destroya. And there was a part, I don't know if you remember this, or if you've heard of this, but Destroya was actually supposed to get up after that last attack. Destroya was actually supposed to get up. His wings were supposed to be fried off or something like that, and he wasn't able to fly. But then Godzilla would pull another one of those moves and absolutely disintegrate Destroya out of existence. So, but it never actually came to fruition because, well, they just didn't want to do it. But, they honestly, low-key, they kind of nerfed Destroy a bit, because the chest area right here, was it the stomach? I don't remember. The flower-looking thing was actually supposed to open up and shoot a beam. So that would have been way overpowered. And if it hit or connected with something, it would have absolutely obliterated it and killed it instantly. So if it hit Godzilla, dead immediately. Next one, Gigan versus King Ghidorah, who would win? Ooh, that's a good point, because they're always working together. That's the thing I've noticed, especially in Godzilla versus Gigan. They're almost always working together. Then again, it kind of depends on which one we're talking about, because there are different versions of each one. Now, if we're talking like Kaiser Ghidorah or Des Ghidorah or Grand King, that's a different story. But since it's just strictly Ghidorah itself, I'd probably say Gigan. I want to say Gigan would win. He's got way more in his arsenal than Ghidorah does. And I'm only talking about Showa. I'm not talking about the modified version, because that one, it just gets weaker. When you modify something, you're supposed to make it stronger, but no, it just gets weaker as time goes on. I think it's pretty stupid, but it is what it is. So that's my answer. Gigan wins.
And it's not because it's my favorite character. It's just from what I remember.
Least favorite kaiju. Ooh, good. I'd have to say my least favorite kaiju would probably be the 1998 Zilla. Yeah. No, I don't like that one. The movie's good, but the character design for Zilla, not Godzilla, is just not. It doesn't sit well with me. That or Baragon. Baragon just looks disgusting. It's nasty. And I would also probably say Manila. Manila looks nasty as well. But I guess he's not too bad. I wouldn't say he's perfect, but I mean, he's still a pain to look at a little bit. It still hurts my head to look at him. But compared to the people I just mentioned, he's okay. Tap or no tap? No tap. Does things to the mind. Something the Nazis did back in World War II. Fluoride.
Yeah. I know where you got that from, and I know how to answer that.
What got you into kaijus? Honestly, if I'm being honest, I just saw it and was like,
Yo, this is kind of cool. Let's do this.
I know a lot of you are not going to believe that. I wasn't a big Godzilla fan like a year ago or like a few months ago. I was kind of like, I was still trying to find what I wanted to talk about on TikTok and whatnot. And I found this after Godzilla vs. Kong, and then I saw it was Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Why would you put Godzilla up against Kong? It just didn't make sense to me. So I was Team Godzilla from then on, because like, it just didn't make sense to me. It's like, why would you put an overgrown ape up against Godzilla of all people? Like, it's just unfair. It's literally unfair. It's a radioactive, almost unkillable being against an overgrown ape.
Or monkey, however you want to say it.
So I started doing that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. And then one of my videos blew up because I did that, and I'm like,
All right, I can see where this is going.
that's how I got into things. And I've been hooked on it ever since. And yeah. What happened to all the other Titans? Did Godzilla kill them? No, he didn't. They just basically submitted. If you remember back in King of the Monsters, they basically just submitted. They bowed or whatever. Or the ones that made it there in enough time. The other ones just made it halfway and then turned around. So they, he didn't defeat them. In terms of defeat, it can both mean killed and or submitted. And it's submitted. That's what. Alright, Godzilla Earth versus Destroya. Destroya is very durable, but not durable enough to take on Godzilla Earth. Godzilla Earth is a different breed. Altogether, he's a different breed. So, yeah, no, Godzilla Earth wins to little to no difficulty. It's just, durability, attack, off the charts. Which would be a better next addition to the Monsterverse, Gigan or Mecha? Neither. Mecha would not be a good idea, mainly because we just had a mechanized being in this movie, and having another mechanized being in the next one would be like, why? You literally could have saved this for something else. Now, I don't really know very much about the origins of Mecha because it's just there, you know? Like, it literally came out of nowhere. It was like, what the, huh? Gigan is a good addition. It's like, he's like a staple character when it comes to Godzilla films, or like villains. And personally, if they're the direction Legendary is going in right now, they would more or less be en route to introduce Biollante. If you don't know what Biollante is, it's like the giant green tentacle grass thing. That's what it looks like. And if anything, that's probably the next kaiju that'll show up in the series. Because if we get that, we can actually get Space Godzilla later on down the road, or we'll go into a Mothra film with her fighting Batra, or Batra will show up, and you know that can go in down the road. But they, like I said, they have 3 options to go off of: the Godzilla storyline, the Kong storyline, and Mothra. I know Mothra's coming back; she's also a staple in this. And with that being said, like I said, 3 different pathways they could go down. I don't know if they're gonna do a Rodan movie. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. So one of those 3 routes is a good idea. Comic Godzilla versus Destroya.
Why would you ask that? That's not even fair.
Why?
Comic Godzilla destroys Destroya.
That's not even a fight.
Maybe an entire video of talking about what Destroya can kill.
Well, I wouldn't say it's an entire video.
Destroya can kill anything. I don't know how to explain it. It's just whatever it touches or like hits, it just destroys the organisms or the microorganisms within said thing and just kills it off. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's like a barrier of just like pure death. Like if you walk into that barrier, you just automatically die.
Because that's not the case.
But if it were like real, that's probably what would happen. Not to mention that Destroya is an absolute savage and just doesn't care about the well-being of anyone except himself, and just kills for fun, which, my god, that's insane. So, you know, there's that. Favorite anime?
Ooh, I've mentioned this before.
You see the Dragon Ball stuff behind me, but that is not my favorite, believe it or not.
But that is not my favorite, believe it or not.
That is my second favorite.
It's actually Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is my very first favorite, mainly because I learned a lot from there.
I haven't watched season 2 yet. I'm still waiting for the dub to come out. Don't judge me. Don't.
It's just, I've learned more from Dr. Stone than I have any of my physics or science classes, because I didn't know how to create a battery. Now I do. I didn't know how to make, what's it called? Was it a air blower or something like that? But now I do. You know, it's very good. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. What's one of your dreams? One of my dreams in life is to become somebody who people can rely on. I want to make people happy. I want to spread joy to the world, and, you know, I want to be there for people, because I know everyone's going through things, you know, and I've been through those same things. I know how it feels, and I want to be there with people. I want to be the person that people look to in times of need and be like, he helped me out, or he is helping me out. And I don't mean like in terms of like actually physically being there. Like I would like to, but odds are most of the time I won't. But like through my videos, through my actions, through my personality, all of that, I want that to resonate to everyone. And if I can do that, I've done everything I can. I know that I've done good in life if I'm able to pull that off. That's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. Another dream I have or aspiration I have is winning an Oscar for acting. Like, I feel like if you win that, you win at life. In my opinion, it means that you have talent and you can do something with that talent and people recognize you for that talent. And I find that to be amazing. And if I'm able to pull that off, it'll be amazing. It'll do wonders. It'll do wonders. Anyways, if Kong has experience like his ancestors, do you think the outcome would change? That's a good question. In terms of experience, do you mean like axe wielding or smarts? We really don't actually know what the outcome of the Great War was back in the day. Which, another thing, they should make a movie on that. Like going back in time and explaining or showing us what the Great War was. Because if they did that, it would really shine some insight on why things happen in Godzilla vs. Kong. This is something I gotta say to that. But to be completely honest, I don't know. That's just something for the future. That's something we'll have to figure out for the future. We don't really know that. But that's a good question. When did you choose to become an actor? Okay, to answer that question, I chose to become an actor because I hated the way I did things in life. Literally, I was going through the motions. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I got sick of it. And I know a lot of you are going through the exact same thing right now, and you don't know what you want to do or how you want to do it. I started figuring that out after being bullied freshman year of high school, and I hated it. I'm like, I need to do something in my life or I'm gonna amount to absolutely nothing. So I decided I'll do acting because it's something that I had wanted to do for quite some time, but I didn't really know how to do it, and movies had always intrigued me ever since I was younger. I would go to movie theaters by myself. I still do that today, and I watch movies and I learn from the actors on screen about what they do, and I try to retain that. And I thought to myself, you know what, doing this is the best for me. If I do this, I will be more comfortable with myself, and I will just love myself for who I am, and I won't care about what other people think, because I had a very, very tough time with that during high school and middle school. I was picked on, I was small, and I quickly realized that acting isn't a one-shot kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, you don't get one gig and you're set for life. That's not how this industry works. So many people are in this industry, it's absolutely insane. It's one of the most competitive, most unfair industries in the world, but that's how it is. That's how it's always been. And if you can't accept that, don't be an actor, because you won't get far. That, among many other things that you have to keep in mind when acting. And if you're going into it thinking, I just want the money off of this, you are not going to get far. You do not deserve any roles, nor do you deserve any of the love that people give you when doing these roles. Because if you're just in it for the money and nobody else, that's messed up. That you will not last in the industry if that is all you're ever thinking of. So that's why, because I wanted to do more with my life, and I hated the way things were going. So besides your routine during an audition, tasting noodle flavors, what the, huh? I'm confused. I don't understand what that means, so I can't answer that. Why would you ask that? Why would you ask that? You don't need me to answer this one. You really don't. This should just be common sense. I'm just you figure it out. You figure it out. I would love to see Titan videos covering theories or any upcoming movie comics. I would make those. It's just we don't have enough information on things that could happen as of this next movie. And I don't just mean for Godzilla. I mean in terms of other movies that, you know, like include kaijus that, like, you know, like Pacific Rim or whatnot. But yeah, no, if any updates come out, I will definitely make videos on them, because that is something I really, really, really want to do. So yeah, that was the Q&A. Thank you to those of you who asked questions. I'm happy I was able to answer them. Now you know a little bit more about me. So be on the lookout for more videos in the future. I will definitely be streaming soon. I also have another podcast coming out soon. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!